Hello, today I will be talking to you about the government jobs in the Aleutians East. I will begin by introducing myself, and then I will move into defining the Aleutians East region in regards to metrics, infrastructure, and workforce. And then I believe that will help move into analyzing what government work exists in the region and how it is comprised. So to begin, I have here a picture of myself at the ice park here in Fairbanks. As I mentioned, my name is Stephen Diltz. I am majoring in aerospace engineering as well as mechanical engineering, and I am from the southeast community, Ketchikan, Alaska, which is where we are known for fishing and tourism, similar to the Aleutians East region. And I am interested in this region due to the historical significance during World War II, in which many of these islands were conquered, and the people here were evacuated to southeast Alaska, which is where I'm from, and many people, predominantly native people, were forced to live in camps there that had not so good conditions, and additionally, my mother works as a government worker for the state government, as a registered nurse with the Alaska Board of Nursing. Moving into defining the Aleutians East region, the first thing we can talk about is the population, which in 2017, according to the Alaska Economic Trends Regional Report, was 2,997, which was down from 3,141 in 2010. It can be inferred that the population of this region is probably even lower than that, 2,997, due to its declining trend from 2010 to 2017. Additionally, there are 6 main communities in the Aleutians East region, which include Acatan City, King Cove City, and Sand Point City being their most populated, all having between 900 and 1,000 residents. Additionally, there is Cold Bay City, False Pass City, and Nelson Lagoon, which is not a city but rather a census-designated place. Additionally, the land area, according to census.gov, is approximately 7,000 square miles, which varies a bit by 10 or 20 square miles depending on where you find that number, but almost everywhere it's about 7,000 square miles. And moving into defining the Aleutians East infrastructure. Here we have a picture of Cold Bay Airport, which is one of the 2 landing strip airports that they have in this region. Talking about the roads and ferry in this region, there are no roads connecting the Aleutians East to the rest of Alaska and limited access between the communities. There is, however, a ferry system known as the Alaska Marine Highway System, which runs in the summer months. Additionally, we have ports and harbors in many of the communities here. Specifically, we have ports that are available to freighters, commercial fishing vessels, and ferries in Acatan, Cold Bay, King Cove, and Sand Point. For smaller fishing vessels, which help support the fishing economy there, we have Acatan, False Pass, Nelson Lagoon, and Sand Point, which all have harbors for that purpose. Additionally, all 6 of the communities do have air access of some kind, in which they have landing pads for hovercraft and helicopters, but specifically landing strips for cargo planes. Only Acatan and Cold Bay have that, in which they receive most of the region's cargo and goods that are then distributed to the rest of the communities. Moving into defining the Aleutians East, most of the workforce is actually from outside of Alaska, with only 18% of the workforce being local, 8% from other parts of Alaska, and 74% from outside of Alaska, according to the regional reports in 2017. Job trends are on the rise. Since 2000, job availability has risen nearly 67%, as shown in the graph below. Moving into analyzing government work, there are 3 main types of government work to three main categories of government work to talk about, which are federal, state, and local, in which I will be defining the difference between these for anyone who might not know. Starting with federal government work is defined as that in which it is provided by the United States government, and it is under their authority for the purpose of public administration, law enforcement, national defense, regulation, or public services. In Alaska, state government work is that which is under the authority of Alaska's government. In Alaska, this includes managing natural resources, transportation infrastructure, public safety, education, or health services. In the Aleutians East region, local government work is defined as being governed by each of the 6 major communities. So if you're in that community, it's governed by the city's government. And generally this means managing and providing services to all the communities within the region, including areas like public safety, transportation, health service, and infrastructure. Specifically for this region, it is involved in land use planning, the support of economic activities like fishing and tourism, and regulating the needs of the remote and dispersed population. Much of this portion of government work comes from tribal governments as well, which we will talk about at the end of the presentation. Analyzing the distribution of these types of government work, the most recent data on this distribution comes from 2006 from the Alaska Department of Labor, which is a bit outdated, but is the most recent data I could find on this subject. Of the 1,978 workers in this region, 286 actually worked for these 3 types of government, in which 23 of those, or 8.04%, were federal government workers, 17 were state government workers, or 5.94%, and local government workers comprised a whopping 247 of that 286, or 86.36%. This indicates that with only about 18% of the workforce being local, as we established in a previous slide, about 14.45% of the workforce is government affiliated, in which we can assume many of them are local, making government work one of the most substantial workforces in the region. Moving into tribal governments. Tribal government in the Aleutian East region, basically they provide services to Alaska Native communities. In this region is most specifically the Aleut people. They're separate from federal and state government, but they often collaborate on many of those infrastructure and transportation projects. It is difficult to analyze the specific makeup of tribal government and local government work due to the limited publicly available data, but it can be inferred, however, that they likely make up a sizable portion of local government workers due to the fact that 20.5% of the Aleutians East region is Alaska Native, predominantly Aleut, but also other forms of American Indian and Alaska Native, compared to 15.3% across Alaska, according to the Aleutians East Regional Report. So yeah, that is my presentation on government work in the Aleutians East region. Thank you for watching.